Gentlemen, in this video, I'm going to break down step by step exactly what I did to go from a man who was frustrated, not getting any results, didn't know what to eat, didn't know what to do. My mindset was trash, depressed, to by the grace of God, getting in incredible shape, the best shape I've ever been in my life. And in the process, developing a mindset that allowed me to be the husband that I was called to be, the father that I was supposed to be. And I'm going to break all that down. I'm not leaving nothing off the table because I want you to succeed at this because God has something in store for you. So we're going to break this all down. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this is not a video with a whole bunch of fancy music and crazy cuts. You're not going to get no dopamine hit off this. What I can promise you is you're going to get a ton of value. So get a pen, get a paper. The video is about 30 minutes. And if you can't sit through a 30-minute video, you're probably not in a place to develop the mindset needed to become the man that God called you to be. But if you are, I'm going to jump into my computer so I can get clear on everything. And here we go. Let's go. Gentlemen, let's rock and roll. I'm going to show you exactly how I went from this man on the left, who I personally wasn't happy with, disgusted with actually, to the man on the right, the man that I am today. So I'm going to show you how strengthening my faith, it got me shredded in just 90 days. Allow me to drop fat and pack on 30 pounds of lean muscle while still eating foods I love because I wasn't about to give up food and prioritizing my role as a father and a husband. The only thing that comes higher than that is God, so I wasn't going to sacrifice those. But before, I felt so lost when it came to eating and how food actually worked. I would listen to this podcast and it would tell me one thing, and then I would watch this YouTube video over here and it would tell me another thing. So I had absolutely no clue what I was actually supposed to be eating and how I was going to get results. I would jump from one random workout to another random workout. 1 minute I'm doing CrossFit, then I'm running 5Ks, then I'm doing your traditional gym. I was trying everything. I was so desperate to get results, but nothing was working. Nothing. And then to top all of that off, because back in the day, I was an athlete. I grew up an athlete. I grew up playing sports. And now I'm in this place where I'm not happy with my body. I'm not happy with the way the direction is going, and I'm completely lost and confused. Now my confidence level's terrible. I'm suffering from depression. It was just such a horrible state. And I hope no one ever gets to that. But after I got everything dialed in, I nailed down a straightforward diet that actually worked for me, that I wasn't having to give up things like bread because that wasn't happening. I wasn't going to give up chicken wings. I'm not doing those things, but I also wanted a diet that worked, right? Got me results. It also worked for my lifestyle. I also built a solid workout routine that brought real results. So on a daily and weekly basis, I could see results, and I needed that. I'm an impatient guy. I'm working on it. But seeing those daily wins were important for me. So this is exactly what I'm about to show you does that. I became the man that I was meant to be. God called me to be. So I was strong, confident, and in control. And I believe every man should play that role, strong, confident, and in control. But I want to talk about who this is for because I'm big on time. I don't want to waste your time and I don't want to waste my time. So I want to tell you exactly who this is for so you know if you should keep watching. So if you're ready to level up your confidence, and be that guy who walks into the room, and I'm talking about walks in and owns it. Everybody turns and who is that? Just your aura that you carry. Well, then this is for you. If you want to be the dad, your kids look up to you, drop your kids off at school and all the other kids are pointing whose dad is that? Whose dad is that? You want your sex life to, you just want a sex life where you just feel confident and in control. You're not always going after your wife. Your wife's coming after you, then this is for you. If you're fed up with being constantly exhausted and tired and honestly just letting your health slide, I get it. As men, we do what we need to do, but you're done with that. It's not supposed to be like this. You understand it's not supposed to be like this and you want better. Well, then this is for you. If you tried every diet, you hit the gyms, but you just always find yourself quitting, starting over, well, this is for you. If you're over 30 and you want to be the guy everyone looks at as the fittest and most successful in your circle, and that's the coolest feeling ever. It's the coolest feeling ever. When you go to a party, you walk in the house and you be like, oh, here he go with his fit self. Well, if you want that to be you, well, then this program is for you. Let me also tell you who this is not for, because this is not for everybody. It's just not. It won't work for everybody. So I would rather be honest with you. You know, if you're the type of man, if you're just content with being average, this ain't for you. You know, if you're fine with letting yourself go, you're the guy that rocks the dad bod proudly, this isn't for you. If you're looking for a quick fix instead of actually stepping up, taking full responsibility as every man should, well, if you're not willing to do that, then this isn't for you. You know, if you're not willing to put in your short-term effort for long-term changes, like not just changes, transformation, then this isn't for you. If you're under 30, this isn't for you. Like life is different after 30. You got more responsibilities. You got more stuff going on. You got kids, you got family. And this is what I needed. I needed something designed for that. So that's exactly what I'm going to show you guys. So here's the harsh truth about losing weight and building muscle after 30 that honestly nobody tells you. Most people fail. They fail. But it's not because of their age. It's their outdated mindset. That's what's limiting them from their actual capability of what they can achieve. Like their thinking's off. You know, they don't have a workout plan that fits their age and their lifestyle. Things are different. You have kids now. You have a career. You might be married. These things all play a part. Look, they're not going anywhere, but you can work around those. Those are not the end all be all. Trust me, I know. I have married and I have 5 kids. You know, they also don't do it because they keep relying on strict diets and sheer willpower instead of strategy that actually works. Willpower is only going to get you so far, and it's not going to be very far. But if you have an actual strategy, something that you can apply to your daily life on a consistent basis, works every time. It works every time. So there's no such thing as a consistency problem. And I'll be honest, I used to say this, but think about it. How consistent someone has to be to put on 50 pounds of excess weight. The real issue is they've just built negative habits that are working against them. All it takes is replacing those negative habits with positive ones that actually serve them, that ones that move them towards their goal. And if you're ready to make that person you, I'm about to show you exactly how to break through any mental barriers you might have. Any, I don't care what they are, any of them that are holding you back from losing weight for good. We're not doing this anymore. There's no this up and down, up and down. Like we don't do that. Right? I'm going to show you how to create result-driven workout routine, something that you get daily wins that fits your busy life without sacrificing time with your family or yourself, because you shouldn't do that. Like it's your responsibility as a man to take care of your family, to take care of your kids. So we're not going to sacrifice them for our results. Let me show you how to drop fat and pack on muscle by eating the foods you love, not this restrictive diet. You can't have carbs. You can't have bread. Like we're not doing that. Like I'm a grown man. Like I'm not cutting that out. Plus there's no need to do that. You don't have to do that. And in case you don't know me, here's a brief backstory about how I actually got here. So in my 20s, I found myself working all the time. I was selling insurance. I found what they call the dream job, which was for me working 70, 80 hours a week, always eating out. And then I found myself drinking socially, which led to me drinking all the time. And it led to me drinking all the time because it was a way for me to drown out how bad I hated my life. Just being honest with you. Like it was a way for me to escape. It was a way for me to say, like, I didn't like where I was at. So that gave me that few time to just relax, at least what I thought was relaxing. I ended up gaining a ton of weight, hating how I looked, like hating. I hated looking in the mirror. I'd get out the shower and just like act like the mirror wasn't there, which ultimately led to spiraling into depression. And again, not that I just don't feel like getting out of bed. I'm talking about like it got dark. It got really, really dark for me. I felt like I was living so much below my potential, so much below the man that I knew I was called to be, that I knew God intended me to be. Like I was falling so short. And then I got into a bad car accident. And that's when I actually decided to completely change my life. That's when I made the decision. I made the decision because I was like, it gave me perspective of like, wow, life can end at any time. And that journey eventually led to what I now call the TWD method. The TWD method is the result of me finally admitting Finally, because it took a long time. I was done with the way my life was going. I was not happy with the direction I was going. Not as a man. I tried every diet under the sun. I spent endless hours in the gym trying to figure out what worked, what didn't work, and testing, not just what worked. What I really wanted, I wanted something that delivered results all the time, real results. Not to mention the thousands I invested in seminars to learn and to grow, in supplements, and all the other solutions that didn't work. So testing all of those things and finally figuring out what worked. Well, today I'm going to break everything down. Everything I learned, I'm going to break down and show you guys. So I'm going to break it down for you step by step. So you can use the TWD method to eliminate the dad bod and pack on muscle without giving up the foods you enjoy, hours of cardio, and pointless workouts that don't make sense and don't deliver results. So let me break down the TWD method. So the TWD method, it's a no-nonsense system to burn fat, build muscle, and regain your confidence without giving up foods you love or wasting time on ineffective workouts. I'm going to give you a high-level overview, and then I'm going to do a deep dive into each phase of this. Each single step I'm going to go into. So the first part is shattering all limiting and old beliefs. So what is this? So understanding your current desire and state. Super important. Creating a system where you're getting multiple daily wins. So every single day, win. Daily dopamine hits. All right. We're going to find honest accountability. That's what I had to do. I had to find honest accountability. I built unshakable faith, not just in me. It started with faith in God, faith in myself, faith in what I could do. Part 2, stop just going through the motions and actually train. Actually train. Schedule your workouts. Train for results, not just being comfortable. So many times I would just go to the gym and I would just go through the motions. I didn't understand I was just going through the motions. But later on, I learned I was just going through the motions. I had to forget about tomorrow because it's not promised. I kept putting off things for tomorrow, putting off things for the next day as if it was promised. Putting off today's task, today's action for tomorrow. And the third part, not changing your diet. I'm going to deep dive into not changing your diet. You do not have to change your diet. I love saying this because so many people think you have to change your diet. Just be smart about what you eat. You're going to pick days to reward yourself that make sense based on your goal. And don't cut carbs, whatever you do. You don't need to cut carbs. But I need you to buckle up because I'm about to go in on all 3 phases. I'm going deep. Like I'm giving you all the goods. Everything. So you can see exactly how I drastically drop my body fat and put on muscle. Ultimately, I stopped hating the guy I saw in the mirror. I stopped feeling defeated because the results, they just weren't showing up. I'm doing this deep dive because I remember how I felt going and looking for information and looking for different things. And they would just give you just enough. They would never actually tell you how they did it. I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it. The first phase is the deconstruction phase. This is the most important phase. Think of it like this. You're building your dream home. You buy the property. It already has a home on it. Property's gorgeous, but the home is terrible. So you have to knock down the old home, right, to lay the foundation for this new home you're building, this beautiful home you're building that you and your family are going to live in for the rest of your life. This is the deconstruction phase. We got to get rid of the old. We got to take that. We got to discard it so we can make room for the new. So you have to shatter limiting and old beliefs. See, I had to find my faith and build my purpose. I had to do it for something that was bigger than me. You know, when I first started, I was selfishly doing it for myself, and that's not gonna take you across the finish line. I had to really sit down and ask myself, why is it important that I get these results? Why is it important that I drop my body fat? Why is it important that I put on the muscle? And then I started connecting the dots like, oh, I lost my dad when I was 20 years old. I lost my mom when I was 30 years old. I have two young children right now. 5 total. I had to realize it's bigger than me. And not only is it bigger than me, I had to depend on somebody. I had to develop my relationship with God so I could lean on somebody when I didn't have faith in myself. I had to upgrade my inner circle. If you take look right here at this first picture, I only hung around killers. Before, this wasn't the case. Everybody that I was hanging around, they looked like me or worse. They were hanging out on the weekends. They were drinking, having a great time. Great people, but not in alignment with where I wanted to go. So I had to start looking for people. And when I first started, I didn't know anybody. So I found people online. I found people online that resonated and gelled with where I was going. I completely rebuilt who I hung around. If you look in the middle, one of the people that I did was my wife. I found her in the gym. I created daily actionable steps. So if you look on the right, this is literally a picture of my notes. And I kept it simple. The beginning, I kept it so simple. I just went to my notes in my phone and made actionable steps, something that I could do every single day, something that would check the box off. And it was only things that would move me in the right direction. Because sometimes I would get caught up doing pointless things that wouldn't move the needle. I needed to know that if I do these things, then this will happen. So these were my daily steps when I first started. I then had to do an honest self-evaluation. And this for me was very hard because my ego was huge. It just was. I'm being honest. I had a huge ego. So sitting back and sitting down in a quiet room and saying, this is what I didn't like about my life. This is what I had to admit the fact, like, you let yourself go. You're in this place because it was no one else but me. So I evaluated every aspect of my life, because why would I just try to change one aspect when I knew if I changed my mindset, it wasn't going to be just my body that changed. Yes, I was physically going to change, but it wasn't just that. I knew I would have better relationships with my wife, with my kids. It was all going to happen. Right? Measurable goals. It had to be measurable. Like, you just can't make things like, it has to be something that you can track. Oh, I want to lose weight. That's not measurable. That's stuff that I used to do before. I want to lower my body fat. That's not measurable. How can I keep track of that? I had to keep track of it because I had to have daily wins. I created a system where I was getting daily dopamine. Boom, one, boom, one, boom, one. Okay, I want to lose 30 pounds, be 9% body fat. That's very specific. That's something that you can measure. I set realistically unrealistic goals. Everybody else around me, they were falling victim to they were happy with the dad bod. They were okay with the dad bod. We're getting a little older. This is just what's happening. No. So realistically, it was unrealistic maybe to some of the people I was around, but it was realistic because plenty of people have done it. The second phase, the building phase. Okay, you got all the junk cleared out. You got the right mindset. You got the right belief system, right? So now it's time to start building your dream house. Now I'm talking whatever your dream house looks like. I want you to imagine that for a second, because this is what you're going to do. Just like you would be excited to build your dream home, it's the same thing for building your dream physique. And for some of you guys, you may have never even seen this before. So just like if you were building a house, first you would go to an architect and have it designed exactly how you wanted. You got to sit down and really think about, what do you want to design? This is exactly what I had to do. Right? So on the building phase, you stop going through the motions and actually train. I started tracking my workouts, literally everything, whatever workout it was, whatever machine it was, how many sets, how many reps. I tracked every single workout I went to every single week. And I did that month after month after month after month, because I could see my progress, right? And I could track it. What you don't track, you can't change. I made a schedule. When I first started, it was just it was literally in a regular calendar. I use a Google calendar now, but that's not how I first started. I literally went to Walmart, I bought a calendar and wrote everything down in there. I made a schedule. I put my workouts in there. I put when I got up in there. I put when I had to be to work. I put any of my kids' birthdays. Everything went into that schedule, because prior to that, I was always the guy that says like, I don't have enough time, or, I'll get to that. No. Or people would come to me and say, hey, can you do blank, 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 blank? No, I can't. I got to be to the gym. I got this to do. I got that to do. But if you don't have no schedule, you're going to just say yes to everything. And then the next thing I did, no more someday island. I was living in this like, I'll get to that someday. I'll get to that tomorrow. I just developed this mindset. Like I did everything as if it was my last day on planet Earth. God willing, I would make it to the next day. But in my head, this is my last day on earth. So I need to complete all my tasks. And when I started to do this, I started getting fired up and focused, because the clarity that I got, the vision that I started developing, like I would wake up fired up. Like I get up at 3 a.m. in the morning. People always ask me, how do you get up at 3 a.m. in the morning? Because I got stuff to do that I'm excited about. Like I can't wait to get to my future me. Right? I had to stand in my faith. I had to find a reason that was much, much bigger than me. In standing in my faith, finding God, that's how I found my real purpose. That's how I found my purpose. And that faith then developed into faith for me, faith in myself, which I didn't have before. And I needed that faith because that went on to allow me to be the man that I needed to be for my wife. It allowed me to be the dad that I needed to be, because prior I wasn't. I was falling short. So I tell everybody, the first thing you do is get your mindset right, then get your body right. Everything else falls in place. It just does. I know that because it's happened for me and it happened for my clients. It happens every single time. You can't skip this. So set yourself up I had to set myself up for success. It's like Deion Sanders says, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. If you play good, they pay good. Right? So set yourself up for success. So I went out, I got the clothes, because I would say like, I don't have headphones, so I can't go as hard. So I got the headphones. I don't have the right clothes for this. I don't have the right shoes for this. I had to set myself up. So like I didn't have any excuses. I had no excuses. It couldn't be made. This is such a beautiful phase because you're starting to see everything. I was starting to see everything come together. So it was just like this genuine excitement, this genuine zest for life. And it was happening on a daily basis, daily wins. And I would look at all the people around me, my friends, my old friends that would hang around, and they were in the same place, this same exact place. But on a daily, a weekly, a monthly basis, I was leveling up. Does that make me better than them? Did I make me better than them? No, it didn't make me better than them. But I was moving to a place that they weren't. I had the years where I was stagnant year after year after year. Not anymore. Third phase, the protection phase. If you spent all this time building your dream home, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, granite countertop, 3-car garage, big backyard so the kids can play in the back, whatever your dream house is, you would protect it. You're not going to put in all that work and not protect it. And that's how I was. Okay, like I got to protect this, right? Don't change your diet. There's no need to change your diet. People always say this. You don't change your diet. Prioritize protein. It's exactly what I prioritize protein. That was the very first thing I did. Okay, well, I don't know anything else. Let me eat as much protein as I possibly can. Because prior to, like, I would literally have meals that there was literally no protein on my plate. So it was like, okay, well, no matter where I was at, I was like, okay, protein, extra protein. Okay, got it. Why? Because that's what I needed to fuel my muscle. It wasn't growing. That's part of the reason my muscle wasn't growing. I wasn't getting nearly enough protein. So once I started feeding my body correctly, I was fuller longer. That's one. And then I was feeding my muscle. That's why I wasn't growing. I was just feeding it on a daily basis. And I was eating out. I had to eat out. My schedule, but I just started being smarter about what I was eating when I was out. Simple changes. I would make simple changes. We have a restaurant here. It's called PF Chang's. And I would get all kind of crazy. I just made simple changes. So I would go to the restaurant, order something off the order, but sometimes I'd have to tell them, hey, leave the sauce off. Or hey, instead of fried, I want this baked. Small change. So that way I didn't have to give up the food I like. I didn't have to give up my social life, so I could still go hang out. I could still take my wife out. We could have beautiful dates, beautiful time, but I was still getting results. I had to be accountable for what I ate. Because when I put trash in my body, I felt terrible. I started learning like, oh, when I eat this, I feel terrible. And those are things, maybe to you, it seems nonsensical, like it just easy. But like for me, it wasn't, because I didn't think about those things before. I didn't realize like, oh, food actually, like depending on what you eat is gonna dictate how you feel. So I started being accountable to what I was gonna eat. I didn't want to be the man that, like, I feel terrible. I got headaches all the time. I have low energies. Therefore, I'm taking out on my wife and my kids. That's not fair to them. I developed a mindset, liquor later. Because at first I was like, I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up alcohol. I didn't. But once I started doing the other steps, when I got into the routine, when I started feeling good, when I had the daily habits, I didn't have the room for liquor. I didn't have the room for drinking. So it literally naturally just went away. I didn't have to say like, oh, I'm going to stop drinking. No, it just went away because guess what? There was no spot in my calendar for drinking. There was no room. So it just naturally went away. So that's one of the things where I said liquor later, but it ended up turning to liquor never. Literally, I don't drink anymore. I haven't for years. And then I lived daily for my goals. I started waking up every single morning, 3:00 in the morning, excited. Excited, like filled with passion. Because I knew I was becoming the man God called me to be. I knew I was becoming a better version of myself. For my wife, for my kids, for my community. And these were things that were always important to me. I never wanted to leave my kids the way my dad left me. I remember getting a call when he was 20 years old when he passed away. Because he was overweight. I remember getting a call when my mom passed away. I was 30 because she was overweight. Everybody in my family, they're overweight. I didn't want to leave that to my kids. That's not the type of legacy that I wanted to leave my kids. So the TWD method, it's designed for busy men with families. It gives them a simple, powerful way to drop body fat and build muscle without wasting time. I don't have time to waste. That's why I created a system that doesn't have time. It's designed for family men. It's designed for men with busy schedule that are serious. Like that's how it's designed. 80% of the actions you do are going to produce 20% of the results. 20% of the actions that you do produce 80% of the results. I'm going to say that again. 20% of the actions that you do produce 80% of the results. So all I did was take the 20% that are going to maximize time, your time, my time, the best, and I threw the rest out. Not only did the system work for me and help me transform my life, gave me the confidence, gave me the mindset, developed my career, my family life, my spiritual life. It didn't just work for me. It wasn't just me. So check out what it did to some of my clients. This is Nate here on the left. He's a principal. So during the day, he works, I don't know if you guys know, but principals, they work a lot of hours. I never realized how much principals worked until I met Nate. And when I started working with him, his thing was accountability. He was used to being the guy that held everybody else accountable, but nobody was there to hold him accountable. Nobody was there to hold him to a higher standard. Like he needed someone to hold him to a higher standard, to push him in his limits. He pushed everybody else. He's a phenomenal principal. He's won Principal of the Year, I don't know how many times, but he didn't have that for himself. That's where this came in. That's where working with me came in. And then you have Slowpoke. His name's Quentin. But think about this. His nickname since he was little was Slowpoke. How do you think he got that? He has never been fit in his whole life. Not only has he never been fit, being called Slowpoke since he was little, he literally took on that identity. So his issue was belief. He had never been fit in his life. He didn't even think he could be fit. He didn't even think it was possible to be fit. When he came to me, that's not what he wanted. I'm the one that told him, like, you're better than this. There's so much more in you. It was belief that he needed. And then Nico. So Nico's in sales. He works for AT&T. Crazy schedule, all over the place. Like, the guy works, right? The guy's schedule is crazy. So he needed a way, like, he could put everything together where it fit into his schedule and made sense, and he could stay consistent. Because he could never stay consistent. He would start stuff and then stop. Start stuff and then stop and then quit. Sometimes he would quit for a week, a month. But when he came to me, it was so easy because we just laid everything out. Bam, 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 bam. He already had the work ethic. He wasn't scared to put in the work. He needed to just get everything dialed in. So now that you understand exactly how the process works, I actually have an offer for you. You know, if you're a man over 30 with a career and a family, but you're sick of the person you see in the mirror, you're done. You're over it. You're done. You know your weight is the problem, and it's sabotaging everything else. Your career, the time you spend with your friends. And you know it's not working for you. It's not working like it's supposed to. You know, you're the type of man, you watch tons of podcasts, tons of YouTube videos, and at the end of it, you only feel more confused and unsure what to do when you do nothing. And you're ready to stop letting your weight ruin your life and finally take control before it's too late. And you're ready to build confidence that transforms your career, strengthens your relationships, and reignites your sex life. That's important to me. Sex life is just important to me. Look, if you're ready to lose 25 pounds and build muscle in the next 90 days without giving up the food you love and spending hours doing cardio and wasting time on pointless workouts, and you're ready to fast track it, you're ready to, you don't want to guess on anything. You want to fast track it. You want to work one-on-one with me. You want someone to hold you accountable. You want someone who's going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. You want someone you know has the track record that's going to get you results. Look, I'll be honest, my program's not for everybody. It's not. I only let a certain amount of people come in because I want to have enough time to work one-on-one with my clients. And I want to give them the time that they deserve. All right. And I also want to make sure I can deliver on my results. If I can't deliver on my results, I won't even take you on as a client. So if you've seen this far and this is you, there's a link down below. You can click on that link, schedule a one-on-one call. That way I can go over everything for you so you know exactly how it works, and I can see if you're a good fit for the program. And if you're a good fit for the program, we're going to crush it, we're going to kill it, and we're going to get you some results. I look forward to working with you.